Welcome to another episode of Is This for Kids? I'm Jonathan Beard of Blevins, father of 4, and normally I think most media for kids is trash, but today we're going to share some that are great.
Yeah, and I'm Katie, MrsRuvi, and I usually think you can work through stuff, but I'm going to help you to find some stuff that are great for your kids who are in the teenage to middle school years. John, you're covering what?
For Prime today, on shows you can find on Prime, I'm going like 7 years old and under.
All right. So if you're not familiar with the show, I have, how many kids do I have? I have 5 kids.
How many?
It's some number of kids. My oldest is 16. I have a 15-year-old son, an 11, almost 12-year-old daughter, 10-year-old son, and then my youngest is 4. So everything that I'm going to give you is something that would be interesting to those upper levels, but not inappropriate to watch in front of the 4-year-old.
Okay.
Yeah. All right.
This is a very, I love doing content like this and episodes like this because there are lots of parents out there who are new parents who don't know what to watch. And of course, you can just Google it and find Bluey and things like that. But some of those shows are weird, like Caillou. Weird stuff.
You're always bringing up Caillou.
Bad behavior.
Like, there should be a drinking game. Again, this podcast is not for kids, where just every time John brings up Wild Kratts or Caillou, you have to drink.
Yeah, so I'm going like, this is really, really good, especially this first one I'm going to talk about is a really good first show for your kid. You can put it on, walk away, do chores, that kind of thing, and they learn a bunch of different things. It's called Word Party.
Nice.
It's available kind of everywhere, but it's also on Prime. And it's this show about these little tiny creatures that are babies that are learning how to live and how to use different words and how to be friends and deal with emotions that toddlers would normally have. And it does a great job with all that stuff. It's for parents, not super fun or entertaining at all, kind of annoying. But for kids, my daughter loved it when she was like 3 or 4 years old. You can put it on, get your stuff done around the house, and know that you're not having to worry about anything.
So
Word Party! And then there's like a cool song. I won't sing it.
Are you sure?
Yep. And there's a dance.
So I'm kind of going with the opposite vibe because once your kids are teenagers, you're less interested in getting them to sit still so that you can go get something done and more like, hang out with me. It'll be so much fun. And my first recommendation is absolutely one of those hang out with the entire family on the couch and watch Pop Culture Jeopardy! It's a brand new show, just came out in 2024. It's hosted by Colin Jost of SNL fame. He's the Weekend Update guy. He's Scarlett Johansson's husband. Yeah. And he hosts it, and it's like Jeopardy, but they have teams of 3.
Yep.
And it's a tournament. So they're gradually working down to being nobody. So I think there's like 12 episodes total. Can't remember for sure off the top of my head. But because it's all pop culture stuff, your kids are just as likely to know the answers as you are. It's not like this river in Africa, blah, 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 blah. It's like this character from Marvel, da, 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 da. Like much more accessible for an entire family. And then everybody shouts out the answers and makes fun of your husband when he says the way wrong thing. And it's just a great, it's sort of like playing a board game, but instead it's on the TV, and Colin Jost is funny, and the jokes are usually pretty funny. And the whole thing is great. And it's a good interaction with your whole family if you don't want to sit down and have a board game.
That's so fun. My kids would be better at the regular Jeopardy than they would at this one because they're nerds.
Yeah,
and,
probably.
The other day I was like, how many states border Canada? And my son knew all of them. I was shocked because I could name 3. That's embarrassing.
It's embarrassing for you, yeah.
Delete that. Just kidding.
Yeah. But one of the categories on here was very funny. The category was not me, not Hermione, you. And so every time that they had to say the name of the category, it was super fun. I have one very nerdy Potter kid who was like, I got this. This is my category. And he just owned the whole category. It was incredible.
I love that. Have we done this Harry Potter for kids?
Yeah.
Okay. Just kidding. just seeing if you remembered.
I did. All right, what's your next one?
Well, I'm gonna go again with this is for 6, 7, 8, 9 years old. They probably won't find it very interesting after this, but a super wholesome show. Do you remember the book If You Give a Mouse a Cookie?
Yes.
Or I think the very first one, maybe that was the first one, but If You Give a Mouse a Pancake.
That's If You Give a Pig a Pancake.
If you give a pig a pancake, right. And then he wants some syrup to go with it. I think I have the whole book memorized. There is actually a show on Prime called If You Give a Mouse a Cookie. Mm-hmm. And it follows this mouse and this moose around, and they just go on little adventures, and it kind of teaches storytelling. My kids love the books, and so we watch the show, and they would, no joke, would start to tell stories like how they told them in the show, which is really good. I actually love it personally as well. So like not like Word Party, we just put it on and walk away. I'd totally watch it with them. But a show that you can absolutely trust. There's nothing weird in it, nothing bad ever in it. Just a great wholesome show, like Arthur used to be.
Yeah. It's based on the books by Laura Numeroff.
Look at you. How many are there? Do you know?
Well, let's see. There's if you give a pig a pancake, if you give a moose a muffin, if you give a mouse a cookie.
Moose a muffin.
Yeah.
I forgot about that one. Yeah. That's why the moose is in the show.
Yeah. And then I think there's a cat also. I don't remember what the cat one is, though. Is there a cat in the show?
Yeah, at some point.
Yeah. Okay. It's a great series.
I've seen most of them. Check it out. It's super fun for the family.
It's one of my favorite things to tell kids. Whenever I take kids with me to the grocery store and they're like, Mom, can I have Oreos? I'm like, that's going to be your one item. We're not doing it. If you give a Millie a cookie, she's going to need some milk. If you give a Millie a milk, she's going to need a bit. I'm picking out
a nap. All right, what's your last one?
All right, my last one is, again, a thing that you can watch along with your kids, because this is going to be one of those things that the moms are going to be like, ah. And so maybe not so much for the boys, but for the teenage girls. Now and Then is on Prime Video, which is a 1995 coming of age movie.
Oh, you love those.
I love them. It's set in the 1970s, but it was made in the 1990s.
So it's black and white.
What?
You said it was set in the 1970s, black and white.
You think that the world was black and white in the 70s?
Until the 90s.
Oh,
until
dear.
Nickelodeon. Green Slime was like the first color show, right?
You realize that like the Cosby Show was in the 80s.
Oh, wow, yeah. Forgot.
Oh my gosh. Probably shouldn't have picked that one of all the options. Yeah, so it's starring Christina Ricci, Devon Sawa, Thora Birch, Rosie O'Donnell, Demi Moore, Melanie Griffith. Like everybody is in this movie, and it's about these girls that are spending a summer together. Like it's the summer where they all kind of grow up. They're investigating like a mystery because they do a seance in a cemetery, which is a little, but it's not actual witchcraft. But they have like this kind of ghosty understory, so they have to go to the library to look stuff up to try to figure out this whole mystery that they have. But in the meantime, one of the girls' parents is getting divorced, and another one is getting her first boyfriend, and her mom has died. So like there's nobody, there's death, there's divorce, there's all of the things that come with growing up, and it's very sweet and it holds up super well. We've done a lot of 90s movies where you rewatch them and you're like, oh my gosh, what was that? The only thing that I had like as a holdover from when I was a kid, and I was like, was that in there? Did that really happen? Is there's like a scene where the girls steal the boy. There's like the wormers or the boys that they're messing with, and they're all skinny dipping in a lake, and they steal their clothes and run away with them. So if you object to your middle school age kid hearing the names of male genitalia, you maybe want to skip it, but it's one scene and it's not that big of a deal, and it's sweet, and it's like you don't see anything.
Run it through VidAngel.
Yeah, it's a great movie. It's a lot of fun. It's cute, coming of age. I loved it, and I had fun watching it with my daughters.
What a blessing.
Yeah.
Look at us giving you great content, and me not mentioning how awesome Wildcrats is. Also, I am just going to throw this out there. You can rent it on Prime right now. Here's a bonus for you. We've talked about it. We did an episode on it. I've probably brought it up at least 2 times since then. Wild Robot is a top 5 children's movie that I have ever seen. Ever. And you can rent it on Prime right now as well.
I think it's actually free on Prime because we have seen it 428 times since it came out.
Well, about a week ago, I had to rent it for $5. But maybe
I think
changed.
this week it's now available.
It's worth the $5. My kids were like, my kids hate watching new movies. It's the most annoying thing ever. Well, let's watch something we already like. And they loved it.
Wild Robot
and I wept.
So good. So like my dad texted me a couple weeks ago, he's like, hey, you guys should do an episode on Wild Robot. And I just sent him here, Dad, link. We already did Wild Robot.
So good.
Great movie. Check out that episode. Hey, if they wanted to find that episode or some other content that we've made, where would they find it?
Go to isthisforkids.com. Everything that we do is there. All the different social media platforms that we use, in particular YouTube and Instagram. Check us out.
Yeah, absolutely. There is so much content out there for us to wade through as
I'm
parents.
Jonathan Beard of Blevins.
I'm Katie, MrsRuvi. Let us help you decide.
Is this for kids?